We're live from Daytona Beach, Florida, from the world premiere center of racing as we get set for the Victory Lane Collectables Duels tonight for the Power V8 Cup Series. Tonight we'll be having our qualifying races that will set the starting lineup for the Royal T Grafix 500 and determine who and who will not make their way in to the 50-lap main event that will be happening this weekend. Hello everyone, I'm Royal T, and today we're having 54 cars battle their way out for 42 spots between two dual races today. There's going to be a lot of action, a lot of chaos, and ultimately only 42 drivers can make their way in for the chance to win the Royal T Grafix 500. Many teams here showed up today, lots of entries specifically just here for this race and this race alone. So a lot of teams putting their all into the biggest event of the season, and what better way to kick off the season than here from the Daytona International Speedway. We'll go ahead and show you the keys to the race and how these dual races will work. As we said, there are two dual races that will be held in tonight's event. Last Sunday we had qualifying, which would determine the order. The odd numbered fastest qualifiers would start in Duel 1, while the even numbered qualifiers will start in Duel 2. Each duel will be 24 laps tonight, and only the top 21 in each duel will advance on to the Royal T Grafix 500. Many will have to try to find any sort of teammates that they can on track, whether if they have any real teammates within their organization or manufacturer teammates. Anybody that has the same engine that they do out on the track, you'll need some help from them. And pretty much anybody who will be willing to push you to the front regardless of team or manufacturer that they come from. Another key is avoiding the big one. Most of the time, it's not if it'll happen, it's when it'll happen. So you want to make sure you're in the right place at the right time when the big one strikes. That'll be key, as it could be the difference between those getting in and getting out of the Royal T Grafix 500. And finally, the most important key of the race is to just make sure you are there at the end. Make sure you're the top 21 finishers. You do not want to find yourself out of this one. Let's go ahead now and take a look at our starting lineup, the 27 cars that will face off in duel number 1. The finishing order will determine where these drivers will start for the main event on the inside row. Starting with the Pulsar, the fastest car overall in Royal T Grafix 500 qualifying, David Dixon, the New Zealander driving for Sinclair Canada Racing. Honda getting themselves on the pole, and to the outside of him would be Jeff Bolton in his own number 34 Ford. Row 2, we'll see Carson Jefferson, another Ford, this time for Elite Forces Racing, and outside of him, SC Derricks from Mercedes-AMG Performance, making a one-off event. This is his only scheduled start for the entire season. Row 3 sees another set of part-timers, this time Abel de Groot. So far, he has scheduled 20 races, 10 with Vortex Racing and another 10 with Leland Motorsports. And to the outside of him, Alan Spiro, another Mercedes-AMG entry, who is only scheduled to be in this race. Row 4 sees James Fletcher on the inside for JC Motorsports, and to the outside of him is Elite Forces Racing owner Roger James himself in the number 93. And in row 5, we'll see JQ Halak, the highest female driver in the duel so far, and we have Myron Felder to her outside. Row 6, we'll see Nelson Reeves in the number 76 for Fitzwater Australia Racing, and Vortex Racing owner himself, Brett Bishop, in the number 12, starting in 12th. Then behind him and starting in 13th, we'll have Arwen Basic. He's running in a various amount of part-time cars, but he will be full-time throughout the scheduled season across 3 different teams. So far, he'll be making his debut with Good Smile Racing. To the outside of him, Miles Mashburn, the Robbers Racing owner. Then we have row 8 behind them. Riley Hill will start on the inside, and to the outside of him, Ethan Hayden in the number 19. Then row 9, we see Zachary DeLello, another part-time car for Parker Enterprises, and to his outside, Adrian Rojas, the owner of Rojas Racing Ventures. Then we have in row 10, we have the 03 of Ben Crouch and the 2 of Already Alejo starting in the 20th position. Then now getting in the cutoff position, Adam Wilson will be starting in the final transfer spot in 21st, and to his outside, Xander Nathan, his only scheduled start with Rojas Racing Ventures, will be in the number 24 this race and this race alone. Then behind them, Bradley Ream will start on the inside and Roberto Crown Jr. to his outside, followed by Ruben Gonzalez in the number 26 and Kaysen Cooper, another part-timer, scheduled to make 15 races this year. And finally, rounding out the field will be John Ritson in the number 17. And now, please allow us to go trackside for the command for the first duel, starting right now.
Drivers, start your engines!
Okay, Ben, keep fired up when you're ready, bud. They get fired up. Bring it up. Early.
27 cars get fired up and brought to life as we see here at the beginning of the first duel race tonight. 24 laps to determine the inside row. Only 21 of these 27 cars can make it to the Royal T Grafix 500. Take a look here at the track facts. It's a cool 65 degrees tonight, a 7 mile per hour wind coming in from the northeast. Should be a pretty calm, cool night as far as the weather will go. But as for emotions and tempers, that should be a different story, as it will be very high. Like we said, only the top 21 will make it into the 500. It is as simple as that. David Dixon and Jeff Bolton will start on the front row. Dixon was the fastest in qualifying. He set the pole. He will start in first for duel number 1. And he's got a lot of Fords and Mercedes surrounded around him. He won't have much help, at least for the start, from any of his Honda teammates. He does have his SCR teammate Myron Felder back there in the number 46. But I believe that is it, as his other two SCR teammates will start in duel number 2. So, should be an interesting event. Right now, the bottom 6, we have Ritson in last, Jason Cooper, a part-timer, Ruben Gonzalez for Fitzwater Australia Racing, Bradley Ream, Roberto Crown Jr., and Xander Nathan, another part-timer. Those are the 6 drivers who are below the cutoff line and under the transfer spots needed to make their way into the 500. Here we go. We've got 27 cars, 24 laps. And only 21 can make it to the show. Green flag is in the air for the Victory Lane Collectables Duel 1. David Dixon's going to get shoved up at the start. It looks like Abel DeGroat and James Fletcher are going to come through, lead the first laps of the first duel here, as they are 3 wide all the way in the back here. We've got JQ Halak, Carson Jefferson, and David Dixon leading the 3 lanes. But here comes James Fletcher. He said he did not want to push for long. He's going to try to get by the 27, Abel DeGroat, and he's going to go to the lead. DeGroat was originally just planning to do 10 races with Vortex Racing, but this week just announced a contract with Leland Motorsports for another 10 races this year, so he's scheduled for at least 20 of the 25 races. All the cars you see with the purple stripes on the back, that signifies that they are part-time cars and that those entries are racing part-time, not full-time. Right here, JQ Halak going to slide into the bottom in front of Nelson Reeves. James Fletcher will lead lap 2. Coming across the line now, we've got Nelson Reeves leading that bottom line as Abel DeGroat trying to hang in there. JQ Halak trying to get up there, be the first female to lead in Power V8 Cup Series history. She's giving a nice push, and she is going to the front. She's going to move to the bottom under James Fletcher to the lead, but here comes Abel DeGroat. They're going to go 3 wide for the first position. Riley Hill will look to the bottom, going to move with his Toyota teammate. JQ Halak went to the lead, but it was short-lived. Three wide across the line. Halak might have gotten it at the line, and I believe she did. So there we go. She got the first female lap to lead. or first female to lead a lap, excuse me. But here comes Riley Hill now, making it short-lived. Has a huge momentum on the bottom line. Has some help from Zachary DeLello, another part-timer. DeLello racing for the Parker Enterprises entry, and DeLello's going to try to go to the lead in the number 77 with some help from Ben Crouch and Bradley Ream on the inside. One thing to note here with this track, it is very slick, and the positions are going to be shuffling ever so slightly. 1 minute you'll be up at the front, and the next minute you can move all the way to the back as Riley Hill is going to stay up at the front. It seems like the outside line getting a lot more momentum than I thought it would, as it's proven to hang in there. A lot of these guys that I thought would shuffle onto the back, they are sticking with it. And right now we see Riley Hill so far getting a pretty good lead, out by a couple of car lengths. Some very action-packed racing in the back. 3 wide all across. Everyone trying to do their best to get in the top 21. 3 wide for second here. Abel DeGroat not giving up. He's been sticking in the top 5 so far for the first 5 laps. Doing a great job hanging up at the front. One person that has gone all the way to the back is Jeff Bolton. He's been dropping a good bit. Started in second, and he's already found his way to the bottom of the pack, as you see there in that bright yellow number 34 in that high line. Here comes Abel DeGroat for the lead. Once again, these 2 Toyotas of Abel DeGroat and Riley Hill have been doing an absolutely great job leading the race. And the Toyota is proving that they have a lot of power and a lot of speed here early on. Nelson Reeves, though, trying to have something to say about that. Here comes Bradley Ream. 3 wide for third. Hill and DeGroat going to get to the bottom. All around great racing from the start. See these packs on the line. There's still a lot of time. Remember, coming up, 24 laps in total. And we just crossed the line to complete lap 6, going on lap 7 now. Abel DeGroat and Riley Hill have been the 2 up in front for the severity of this race. Looking towards the back now, we've got Arvin Basic, the Croatian driver. Jason Cooper looking on the inside along with Xander Nathan. They are in some of the transfer spot, or the cutoff, under the cutoff spots, excuse me. But as we see here now, here comes Riley Hill looking to the inside of Abel DeGroat. These 2 have been going back and forth quite a bit this race. See now coming off a 4. Fortunately for Riley Hill, no bonus points will be awarded for the duels. Otherwise, he would be a pretty good contender for having the most laps led, that's for sure. Starting to see some of these packs break up here a little bit. Not sure if someone might tag the wall here. Got Miles Mashburn, Zachary DeLello following Riley Hill in that bottom lane. Flyby of the field. Seems pretty cramped in the back there for the most part. Abel DeGroat tries to get to the bottom, just does in front of Miles Mashburn, the 72 out in front. That Vortex Racing Toyota has been doing a fantastic job. You see team owner back there, Brett Bishop, in the back in the number 12, that Rockstar Energy Camry. But so far as part-time driver, pulling the weight, as they've been up in the front, pretty much in the top 2 this entire race. Here comes Miles Mashburn, though. He wants to go ahead and get a shot at this lead, the Robbers Racing owner. He's got a pretty good run, and he has DeGroat cleared. Miles Mashburn to the lead, and there's trouble in the back. Carson Jefferson around. James Fletcher also involved. Arwen Basic gets involved. Their 500 hopes might be done, but the race to the line, we got to look. Zachary DeLello has a good run to the inside. Coming off the corner, it's going to get in front of Mashburn, and it looks like DeLello is going to win the race back to the line. Caution is out on lap 10. Take a look, Jeff Bullen. Oh, man, the team owner for Jeff Bullen Racing, heavy damage. James Fletcher has a lot of rear damage. Carson Jefferson also has a lot of rear damage as well. Arvin Basic, he got tagged in that. Xander Nathan, his day most likely done. Disappointing for Rojas Racing Ventures. They needed to get as many cars as they could into the show. And, well, it looks like they're definitely not going to get one of them in. And it might have even looked like Adrian Rojas himself could have gotten some damage there. So we'll go. Oh, and Rojas actually gets into the back of Myron Felder just there, and he's dented up his car completely. It goes from bad to worse for Rojas Racing Ventures. Adrian Rojas now completely destroying his car. We are going to have a lot of replays to go over. So let's go ahead and take a look at how this wreck got started. Looking in the back here now with Carson Jefferson, you see he's getting into line. They go 4 wide here for a second. And a little bit of contact between Roger James and Roberto Crown started that. Jefferson had nowhere to go. And many cars just get involved after that. Oh, Harlan Basic, you see he gets hit pretty decently in that as well. Doesn't get hit too hard. But Jeff Bolton gets a lot of damage. See from another angle here, when Jeff Bolton gets hit, you see just in front of him they go 4 wide. And Bolton's got absolutely nowhere to go when Fletcher comes back up in front of him and just absolutely destroys the rear end of James Fletcher. It's just not what you want to see. Right here, Roger James, Crown Jr., Halak, and Carson Jefferson just go 4 wide. There's never enough room for that here at Daytona. And then that just causes some innocent bystanders to just get hooked. James Fletcher's Daytona or Royal T Grafix 500 chances look to be done. Jeff Bolton's, I could definitely say for sure, is done. Some disappointing days all in all. One more look here as we'll go on board with James Fletcher. Yeah, he just had absolutely nowhere to go and nothing he could do. We'll be right back after this. Alright everyone, welcome back here to the Victory Lane Collectables Duel number 1. We're still under caution. Lights are out on the pace car on lap 13. We're going to get restarted on lap 14. Take a look at those involved in the wreck. Xander Nathan, Jeff Bolton, and James Fletcher are out of the race. Their Royal T Grafix 500 hopes are done and up in smoke. And some others with some damage. Carson Jefferson with some heavy damage. Adrian Rojas also with some heavy damage. Arvin Basic with a little bit of damage. Hopefully, though, he can still maintain enough speed to have a chance. So far, Myron Felder sits in that 21st position, that transfer spot. He's in the final spot that you need to be in to make it to the Royal T Grafix 500. So we're going to restart on lap 14. We'll have exactly 11 laps to go in this duel here. There's still a lot that can happen. Anything can happen. Right here as we see 3 cars out of the race, still have 24 in it. Everyone else on the lead lap. Green flag back in the air. Zachary DeLello will lead us back to the green. Abel DeGroat going to try to look to the inside and get there first before everyone else dips in front of him. Miles Mashburn going to try to stick to the rear bumper of Zachary DeLello. DeLello's been doing a very good job in this duel. So is Riley Hill, who's up there in that 3rd position. But here comes Miles Mashburn making the move to the bottom. He's not staying patient for long. He wants that lead. John Ritson started in last place in this duel, but he's found his way up at the front, making his way to the top 5. And there's David Dixon on the bottom. He started on the pole in this duel. The 2 cars have started first and last, side by side with each other for 4th. But right now as it stands, DeLello will lead, as he'll be first back to the line on lap 14. He's going to pull in front of Miles Mashburn. Tried to get up to the high side but couldn't. Now he's going to get squeezed into that middle line. Riley Hill losing some momentum. 3 wide in the back. Good bit of cars are off pace. But so far, Myron Felder sits in that final transfer spot, and I'm not sure if anyone's going to be able to compete. So everyone in this pack is in the top 20, and they are in the Royal T Grafix 500. As long as they don't wreck or nothing happens to them, they should be good. So they just need to stay calm and make it to the end of this race. So far, Zachary DeLello putting a huge gap on this pack, as they're getting a pretty bit racy with each other. David Dixon leads in front of the high line. Abel DeGroat has the momentum on that bottom line, getting a push from JQ Halak. She's got her JBR teammate Bradley Ream helping her out on the bottom. See here, it's a Ford train on the bottom. Roger James trying to get in, but JQ Halak going to go up to the middle, break that up just a little bit. Whoa, Zachary DeLello going to just cut in front of Abel DeGroat to block off that inside line. Brett Bishop now getting a little looking to try to get to that bottom lane, but he just can't. He is stuck in the middle as his driver Abel DeGroat is on the rear bumper of Zachary DeLello. Coming on lap 17 now. That 27 and the 77 working together really well. DeGroat has been up front and been a force all day long, this entire duel. He's been doing a fantastic job. Here comes JQ Halak, though, looking to the bottom. She's going to try to get some help from her teammate, but had nothing going there for her. She might have the momentum. Nope. Both DeGroat and DeLello just barely going to pull in front of her. Coming out of turn 4, we've got... It seems like this pack's getting the memo. They're starting to dial it down a little bit, as I'm sure they know they are the top 20. And they will not need to stress their way. As long as they just make it to the finish, everyone in this pack will make it to the Royal T Grafix 500. JQ Halak now making her way into the second position. She's been doing a great job maintaining her way throughout the pack too. Been pretty quiet, but has stayed mid-pack to the front this entire race. Now she's going to look for the lead. Gets to the bottom on DeLello. And here comes JQ Halak. She led once before tonight. She's going to try to do it again. JQ looking to get a little side draft off the DeLello. Is going to work through the tri-oval, and she is going to lead that number 13 JBR Ford. So we are coming down to the wire. Just about 6 laps to go. But here comes Abel DeGroat now trying to get back to the lead. That number 27 Vortex Racing Toyota has been absolutely hooked up this duel. For a part-time car, it is racing fantastically. You see now Nelson Reeves has some help from his Fitzwater Australia Racing teammate Ruben Gonzalez on the bottom. The 76 and the 26 working together. The two Dodges might be here to spoil the party. They weren't up front for most of the race, but they're up front for when it matters. Nelson Reeves looks to the top. Gonzalez going to hold the bottom for him. Here comes Reeves now, going to make that inside work. Gets under DeGroat and is going to go for the lead. He's got help from his teammate and Bradley Ream. Wonder if JQ Halak will try to get to the bottom. Nope, the door will close on her. Miles Mashburn is going to get there. It's a Fitzwater Australia 1-2. The 76 and the 26 working together pleasantly. With just about 4.5 laps to go, coming through turn 3. Both Dodges going to get to the bottom, working together great. Coming out of turn 3. Coming up on 4 laps to go. These two Dodges are running away here now. Gonzalez doing a great job pushing his teammate and keeping a gap between them in third place. Meanwhile, everyone in the back now getting a little more racy, as even though they're safe to make their way in, the higher up you finish, the higher up you'll start in the 500. So these positions very much still matter. As long as they make it to the end, yes, they are safe, but you want to get the best finish possible, as we see two Mercedes-AMG performance cars on the bottom, the 91 and the 03. And here comes Abel DeGroat now getting under the 76. Looks like Gonzalez making his way for the lead. But Abel DeGroat is going to... looks like Gonzalez is going to try to stick with his teammate and keep Reeves in the draft. He's going to block back down on the bottom, then go back up top, but DeGroat is going to be able to take that lane with him. But not going to be able to go back to the inside. Bradley Ream and Miles Mashburn are there. Ream is a guy we haven't heard too much from, but now he is up at the front. Here he comes again. A good push from Miles Mashburn. Getting some draft on Ruben Gonzalez. He may try to look for the lead, and he will. Both him and Mashburn were going for the lead. 3 wide for the lead in duel number 1. Here comes Riley Hill now, making his way back up to the front here as we're coming up to just 2 laps to go. It's anybody's race here now. Who's going to set themselves up in the best position? Seeing a lot of the most dominant cars here. They are circulating their way back up to the front. 2 to go. Mashburn and Ream battling it out for the lead. They're trying to go get everything they can out of this duel. This is for the pole for the Victory Lane Collectibles, for the Royal T Grafix 500. See now Nelson Reeves makes a daring move to the bottom. Here comes 2 cars we haven't seen at all. Adam Wilson in the 00 and SC Derricks in the 30. They've been quiet this whole race, but they're here now at the end. Some Dodge power coming to the front. Miles Mashburn is going to lead coming to the white flag. He's got a good gap, but will he be able to hold it for the checkers? Riley Hill is on his tail. That's a strong car you don't want to see. And Abel de Groot too. The 2 cars that have dominated this entire race, they are there. Here comes the 5 of Riley Hill, driving for his brother's team. One of the more rushed operations. How great would it be for Riley Hill to win this duel for his team? Here he goes. He's down at the bottom. He's got the run from de Groot. Riley Hill to the lead, coming into the final corner. Will he be able to hang on to it? Abel de Groot looking to the inside. Riley Hill's got a block, and they're not going to be able to do it. Coming to the line, it's going to be Riley Hill who will win the Victory Lane Collectibles duel. Riley Hill will get the duel win. Coming to the line in 21st, it is Myron Felder. He's just got to make his way through, and that damaged Tag Heuer Honda is going to make its way into the Royal T Grafix 500. Sinclair Canada Racing so far 2 for 2 on their entries. They still got another 2 to try to get in, though. Meaning Carson Jefferson in the number 94, Arvin Basic in the 44, Adrian Rojas in the 65, James Fletcher in the 25, James Bolton in the 34, and Xander Nathan in the 24 are unfortunately all going to miss out on the Royal T Grafix 500. What a race. Let's go ahead and take a look at our finishing results. Getting the win was Riley Hill in the number 5. That was a Toyota 1-2, followed by Abel de Groot in the number 27. Did an absolutely fantastic job, highest part-timer in the field. Nelson Reeves would round out the top 3 and 3rd, with Miles Mashburn in 4th, and SC Derricks coming home in 5th. Did an absolutely great job bringing home that number 30 car. He is going to make his way into the 500. Then we have Zachary DeLello in 6th, Ruben Gonzalez in 7th, followed by Roger James in 8th. Then the number 9 car, Bradley Ream, finishing in 9th, and the number 19, Ethan Hayden, would round out the top 10. Finishing in 11th, we would have Adam Wilson in the 00, JQ Halak would finish in 12th. The number 91 of Alan Spurrow would finish 13th. The number 14 of Ben Crouch, or the 03 of Ben Crouch, finishing in 14th. And then rounding out the top 15 is Roberto Crown Jr. 16th would be the number 12 of Brett Bishop. 17th is the number 17 of John Ritson. 18th, Alrighty Alejo. 19th, David Dixon. And in 20th is Jason Cooper. Stayed in the back most of the race, but was able to avoid the mayhem. Myron Felder would be the last car to make it in on the transfer spots in the Royal T Grafix 500. Once again, Arwin Basic in 22nd, Adrian Rojas 23rd, Carson Jefferson 24th. The 25 of James Fletcher would finish 25th, Xander Nathan in the 24 would finish 26th, and Jeff Bolton in 27th. So everyone from Arvin Basic on back will miss out on the Royal T Grafix 500. Unfortunate days to see for those, but the rest of them all have a shot at the big race. All right, we definitely had a very exciting Duel 1 on our hands, but after 24 laps, we have the inside row fully completed and set. We have our first half of the field, 21 cars are locked in. It's time for ourselves to lock in another 21 cars. Let's take a look at the 27 drivers who are going to attempt their way to make the Royal T Grafix 500. Starting on the front row, it is a Fitzwater Australia Racing sweep with the team owner Zachary Fitzwater himself on the pole and his driver Cody Goforth to the outside of him in the number 60. Row 2 sees two single car owner teams with Nathan Orman on the outside in his number 95 and Boston Jones on the inside in his number 18. Row 3 sees two Ronnie Racing drivers with Carl Unterswerfer on the inside and Ronnie Martin himself in the outside. Row 4, we have Landon Laudenbach in the number 83 on the inside and Blake Parker on the outside in his number 07. Row 5 sees JT Bryant making his only planned start of the season so far this year in the number 11, and to his outside Dylan Hayden running the full-time schedule in the number 48 for CCR. Row 6 sees Priya Mashane in the inside in the number 98 and Kason Cooper, another CCR driver, to the outside. He'll start right behind his teammate. Then in row 7, we have Leland Hill on the inside. His brother just won the last duel. We'll see if he can go ahead and replicate the same success. And to his outside, Felix Rizzo in the number 51. Row 8 will have Solomon Sheridan on the inside, and to his outside, Patrick White. So far, this is his only planned race, but that could be scheduled, subject to change. Then next up, we'll have Tyler Wells and his only planned start in the number 14, and Cameron Sr., the new owner for JC Motorsports. Then in row 10, we'll have Christian Vargas on the inside and Josh Moore on the outside in the Robbers Racing number 3. Then in the final cutoff spot, Owen Scott for Ronnie Racing in the number 15, and to his outside, Nick Kennedy, the owner of Double or Nothing Motorsports and the number 68 driver for Jeff Bolton Racing. Then we have Alex Livingston making his only planned start for the entire season for Rojas Racing Ventures in the 53, and to his outside, Christian Russell in the number 39. Then we have Jerry Chen in the number 36, again his only planned start for the season, also coming here at Daytona, and to his outside, Michael Canaday, who is planning to run 10 races this season starting here at Daytona. And finally, rounding out the field, we have Cam Cole, the fourth Rojas Racing Ventures entry, to try to make their way into the field. So far, the first two Rojas Racing cars did not make their way in. We'll see if the other two can have the power to be able to get themselves in. They start 23rd and 27th. All right, let's go ahead and get you down trackside for the start of the Victory Lane Collectables Duel number 2.
Drivers, start your engines!
And all right, here we go. We have another set of 27 cars ready to battle it out for another 21 transfer spots. Cars are fired up and they are rolling off, ready to get set, going to life here. One thing we notice here in duel number 1 is that the lead changes are definitely consistent and the pack shuffles itself throughout the entire event. But if you can get yourself up at the front and in clean air, it is possible to take control of this race and be one of the lead cars at the front that is difficult to pass. We saw it with both Abel DeGroat and Riley Hill in the Toyotas. So it could be either a combination of just a manufacturer push, or potentially those Toyotas in clean air could be dangerous. We'll just have to wait and see for the 500. But if Duel 2 is going to go anything like Duel 1, should be a wild ride and an exciting race. Once again, we have 6 drivers in this duel who are going to go home empty-handed without even a shot at attempting the Royal T Grafix 500. There's 6 drivers and teams as we speak, packing up their things and getting ready to go back to their home bases and shops. Some of them just here for this race and this race alone, and their dreams are coming to an end. But for many others, it is just the beginning. We've got another 24 laps, another 27 drivers getting ready for another 21 spots. But this time we're going to set out the outside rows and the outside lanes instead of the inside. Zachary Fitzwater Sr. and Cody Goforth, both Dodge teammates, going to lead them down. 2 of 4 Dodges in the top 6. So we'll definitely have to watch out for those Chargers. They seem to have a lot of power here in this second duel. Pace car pulls in, and the Fitzwater Australia Racing duo will lead us down to the green. Green flag is out in Victory Lane Collectables Duel number 2. The field is stacked 3 wide coming out of turn 4, but it's going to be Fitzwater Sr. who will hold on to the lead and lead the first lap of duel number 2. That 59 car out in front in control, but here comes Landon Lawton back to the inside, already looking for a charge to the inside. He's going to make the move to the lead. He's got the help from Carl Untersweffer down below him. And Cody Goforth now going to peek, looking to make it 3 wide, 3 dodges, 3 abreast from each other. JT Bryant and Boston Jones side by side in those 2 Toyotas. Lawton back going to slide down to the inside line, block that off, and hang and prevail to the lead. Nick Kennedy looking to have some issues hanging on to the draft. Hopefully he doesn't lose out on it, as he is very, very far behind. Hopefully something didn't happen to him, but right now he's struggling just to keep up. JT Bryant has that lead advantage on the inside line as Cody Goforth and Landon Lawton back tandeming together. So they're getting hooked up. JT Bryant so far only scheduled for this race and this race alone, as we see Cody Goforth now looking to the bottom of Landon Lawton back and to the lead. Now the 60 at Cody Goforth now making the move. Got a lot of help on that inside line. He's going to wash up to the top of the track a little bit here. See, he's going to just barely get down in front of JT Bryant. Just enough room for those guys to get in. Priya McShane leading the bottom lane. So far, half of the Sinclair Canada Racing entries have made their way into the 500. The other half racing their way as we speak. Here comes JT Bryant now looking to the inside. That Jordan Racing part-time entry. The number 11 going to the lead with help from Priya McShane in the Honda. Bryant now going to go ahead, block the top, move down low to the bottom, and make sure that that lead is secured for the number 11. Solomon Sheridan now getting a run, looking to go 3 wide for second. Got the inside line, got the advantage and the momentum, and he's going to move his way up into second. Fitzwater Sr. now making his rounds back up to the front. Got help from Tyler Wells and the number 14, signed on for the one-time race. Sheridan and Bryant now linking up. JT Bryant seems to be in control of this pack so far. It's been the part-timers who have been doing a really, really good job impressing. Saw the likes of Abel DeGroat and Zachary DeLellos. There is a car in the wall. That's Priya McShane up top. The 98 got in the wall a good bit there. But they're going to keep going. They will slow up that pack a little bit. So here comes Cam Cole now in the bottom of this lane. He started in dead last, and he's already making his way up into the top 10. So that just goes to show the advantage of the draft. And it's good to see Nick Kennedy has been able to pick back up the draft as well in that lead pack. Solomon Sheridan tried to go down low on Alex Livingston. They are 3 wide for the lead now. Is that Rojas Racing Ventures car, another car that is just specifically here for this race and this race only, and they're looking to get everything they can. That 53 is out in front and in clean air, wide open. Two of the three Bass Pro Shops cars in the top three, as we see Owen Scott now making his way to the bottom. He started in 21st, the last of the available transfer spots. As we see right now, the cutoff position is held by, I believe, the 54 of Leland Hill. But the battles on the track are going to help make those positions shuffle throughout the entire event, so nobody is safe. And one thing we'll have to look out for is a potential wreck or caution. It was around lap 9, I believe, when we got our first caution. So we'll just have to see. The field is racing pretty sporadic, pretty chaotically. Everyone going 3 wide. They're trying to get everything they can here. It is a pretty short race. These dual races are, there's a little bit of time in them, but there isn't too much. So you got to make sure you're in the right place, and you got to set yourself up, especially if you're starting in the back. It's crucial to get up to the front, as we see a lot of those guys in the back. They are starting to lose out on the draft just a little bit. But here comes Boston Jones with the lead on the inside. Alex Livingston right now in control. And at 53 for Rojas Racing Ventures. The first 2 cars they entered in the first duel, both of them did not make it. But here's the other 2 now sitting in 1st and 5th. So far, it's looking much better for the RRV entries. There's a lot of people now changing some lanes. But Alex Livingston has been out in front and has been in control. It seems like his car has been handling much better than some of his teammates, at least from the first duel. And I think the same can be said for Cam Cole as well. But here comes Solomon Sheridan with some help from Boston Jones. They're going to look to go to the lead now. Sheridan has also had a pretty strong car. It seems like his car's been maintaining pretty well these past few laps. He's been up at the front. His team owner right behind him in 3rd in line. Cam Wright Sr. going to try to get to the bottom of Boston Jones and try to help out his team and his driver. As we said, going into the season, Jerry Chen himself in that number 36, he was supposed to drive that car full-time this year, but instead has just been reduced to now this race and this race alone. In what was an unexpected turn of events, Jerry Chen stepping away from motorsports entirely. So now he's just going to try to give it his all, this one shot. He's got both of his 2 cars, Cam Wright and Solomon Sheridan, 1-2 out in front right now. Both the JCM Chevys showing a lot of power and speed. Here comes that 43 car coming back now. Carl Unterswerfer, he's had a lot of speed in this duel. Fitzwater Sr. started on the pole of this race, and they are 3 wide all the way around. They are definitely racing hard. Everyone is going for each and every single position. Nobody is giving an inch. Fitzwater Sr. now with the momentum on the bottom. He will go back to the lead in his Marina Fox Foundation Dodge. Running his own charity for 5 races this year. 3 wide on the bottom. Priya McShane now looking to go back up to the top. Shane getting some help from Laudenbach. The 98 and the 83 have been both doing a great job as well in this race. As Solomon Sheridan got shuffled out to the top. And it's looking like he might not be able to hang on to that bottom line. Fitzwater now trying to hang on to Priya McShane. As we are now almost halfway through this race. So far, so good. The whole field still chugging along. Got 6 cars in the back, though. 6 to be exact. Right now, the 6 cars that sit out of the Royal T Grafix 500, the 50 of Patrick White, the 68 of Nick Kennedy, the 31 of Michael Canaday, 36 of Jerry Chen, that 14 of Tyler Wells, and the 48 of Dylan Hayden all sit outside of the necessary transfer spots to get into the Royal T Grafix 500. So far, though, Fitzwater Sr. sitting in the prime position. He's in front and in control at the halfway mark. Here comes Blake Parker in the 07. We haven't really seen much of him this duel, but he's finally making his way up to the front. He's got some help along with the 08 of Christian Vargas and Leland Hill. We're starting to see some new faces. Leland's brother Riley and his driver won the last duel. Leland now trying to do the same. That would be great to see the Leland Motorsports sweep. And if that were to happen, they would sweep the front row of the Royal T Grafix 500 as well. The Fitzwater, though, right now it stands in front of that as he is in control of this pack and of the race. And he's getting himself a pretty good bit of momentum as well. He's going to get himself a couple of car lengths out in front of the 07. See now 3 wide for second. Leland Hill getting forced into the middle. Not getting too much help. But now he will once he forces up Parker in the 08 of Vargas. Now Carl Unterswerfer comes up to block. He's going to try to help out his Dodge counterpart. Not on the same exact team, but they are on the same manufacturer allegiance. Unterswerfer now trying to get down to the bottom, but the door is going to close by Cam Cole. At 42 there he is there. He's got help from his teammate right behind him as well. Fitzwater Sr. doing a great job on point. And he's been in control for a good bit of this race. As we said, started on pole. And he's just been out in front, logging laps. Showing this field how it is done. Fitzwater Sr. is a veteran in the NR world. Looking behind him now, Leland Hill has some help from 2 Ronnie Racing Dodges. He's got Owen Scott and Ronnie Martin there behind him. Carl Unterswerfer leads that middle pack right here. The Ronnie Racing Dodges are coming to life. See now that 92 pushing in 2 of his cars. But Fitzwater Sr. not giving up on that high line. And there is a car in the wall from the sounds of it. It looks like the 35 of Case and Cooper. That's going to slow up that high line. Cooper gets into the wall a little bit. We stay green. 3 wide for 4th. Leland Hill going to get to the point. And he's going to get that position. So far, though, Cam Cole now trying to put the pressure. As we said, this is his only scheduled race. He's trying to make the most of it. Doing a fantastic job going for the lead on Fitzwater Sr. We've stayed green this entire race so far. But will we make it to the end? That's going to be the important question as we're getting down to the wire. Just about 8 laps to go. Fitzwater pulling in. Unterswerfer tries to pull in front of his teammate, but Owen Scott going to deny him. The number 15 is going to get to the inside for 3rd. Fitzwater Sr. now going to try to make something happen. He looks to the bottom of Cam Cole. Side by side down the backstretch. Into turn 3, and Fitzwater's going to have the momentum. Can Cam Cole get down to the bottom before Scott? No, he cannot. That 15 is a rocket ship. See some of the guys scrambling in the back now as we're coming up to 7 laps to go. It is getting crunch time. We're getting down to the wire here. If you're not in those transfer spots, you might want to figure out a way to get in them. Owen Scott trying to draft off of Thackeray Fitzwater Sr. Right now, everyone's staying in line, minding their P's and Q's, just waiting until it gets a little bit more to the end to make their move. Unterswerfer looking 3 wide for 2nd. The German driver making them a little uncomfortable now as he's going to make his move to 2nd and make his mark. The 43 trying to get to the point, but Cam Cole staying very resilient on the outside lane, making it work, and he's got him cleared. Felix Rizzo in the back scrapes the wall a little bit. He's going to lose out on some spots and move out of the transfer positions. Owen Scott now going to have to get shuffled back to the 5th position. Zachary Fitzwater Sr., though, has been in control of this race. He is going to be the car to beat. As here comes Cam Cole, though, he thinks he's got the car to beat. Back to the outside, Fitzwater goes. Once again, forced up all by himself. Coming up now to 5 laps to go. Cam Cole in front. 3 wide for 2nd. Unterswerfer, Owen Scott, and Blake Parker all battling it out for that 3rd position. Well, now 2nd position. There's Fitzwater Sr. in the top. Here comes Dylan Hayden out of nowhere. He's got a nice push from Alex Livingston behind him and company. See here, Ronnie Martin making a big push, trying to get all 4 of his cars into the main event. Comes Livingston now in that top. Blake Parker looks to the inside of Cam Cole. Cole's going to lead that lap, but I'm not sure if he's going to hang on to the lead for much longer. So we're coming on to just 4 laps to go now. It is go time for some of these drivers. Lots of guys going to try to get up to the front. But most importantly, just be in that top 21. We've had no cautions so far, an incredibly clean race. 3 wide for second once again. Ronnie Martin to the point. Blake Parker now out in front and in control. A lot of guys who we've seen mind their business in the back, they have found their way to the front when it counts. Coming up to just 3 laps to go. Blake Parker leads Ronnie Martin. At number 92, Ronnie Coyne Dodge. He stayed in the back, minded his business, but has charged his way up to the front now. Ronnie Martin's going to look to win the second Victory Lane Collectables Duel. He's got some interesting company behind him. 2 part-timers, JT Bryant and Michael Canaday. Canaday trying to get all of his Sinclair Canada Racing Hondas in so far, and he might just be able to do it. Here comes Ronnie Martin, though, to the lead. Down to the bottom on Blake Parker. Parker gets hung out to dry. Coming to just 2 laps to go, Ronnie Martin is in the lead. Martin is out front and in control, but he's got a wild pack behind him. Everyone trying to do whatever they can to get into the Royal T Grafix 500 and to win this duel. Blake Parker coming back at Ronnie Martin now. He's going to take his lead right back. That 07 Twix Camaro is hooked up. Michael Canaday now with the push from JT Bryant down the backstretch. Here comes Ronnie Martin once again making the move on Blake Parker. This high line has been stronger than we thought, but this low line is definitely going to win you the race. Coming to the white flag. We might be 3 wide for the lead. Canaday sticks in line, but Martin and Parker are going to battle it out. White flag is in the air. One more time around Daytona we go for the second duel. Who's going to get in the race? Who's going to win it? Martin's got the advantage. He's got the inside line. Michael Canaday giving him a strong push. Blake Parker not able to combat. Canaday now moves up with Ronnie Martin. They're going to block the high line. That number 31 car is going to look to make it to the inside. He's going to stick down low with Ronnie Martin, though. Ronnie does not want anyone passing him. Canaday's going to look, but I don't think he's going to have enough. Ronnie Martin is going to win the Victory Lane Collectables Duel number 2. What a finish. Michael Canaday comes home second. Kaysen Cooper third. JT Bryant, 4th place finish. And rounding out your top 5 is Dylan Hayden. Missing out on the show is the 50 of Patrick White, the 51 of Felix Rizzo, the 36, the big man Jerry Chen himself, the 68 of Nick Kennedy will unfortunately miss out on the 500. The 14 of Tyler Wells, he won't make his only attempt at a Power V8 Cup Series race. Nathan Norman also missing out on the show in 22nd. Josh Moore, just barely, is the last transfer spot in that 21st position. These cars come down pit road. What a race. We saw Ronnie Martin take the win at the end of the race. He took control when it mattered the most. He stayed in the back for the majority of the race, but charged his way to the front up at the end. An absolutely fantastic job by Ronnie Martin. Let's go ahead and take a look at the full results Finishing first, once again, Ronnie Martin in the number 92, followed by Michael Canaday in second. Did a great job in that SCR Honda. Third place is Kason Cooper in the 35, followed by JT Bryant in the 11, and Dylan Hayden in the number 48. Blake Parker would finish 6th, followed by Cam Cole in 7th, Owen Scott in 8th, Christian Russell in 9th, and Cody Goforth rounding out the top 10. Priya McShane would go on to finish 11th, and Alex Livingston in 12th, so Rojas Racing able to secure at least 2 of the 4 entries they put into this race. Alex Livingston, Landon Laudenbach finished 13th, Cam Wright Sr. in 14th, and Zachary Fitzwater Sr. rounds out the top 15. Christian Vargas finishes 16th, followed by Solomon Sheridan, Boston Jones, Carl Untesweffer, and Leland Hill rounding out the top 20, with Josh Moore claiming the final transfer spot to make their way into the Royal T Grafix 500. Just barely missing out on the big show is Nathan Orman in the number 95 and 22nd. Tyler Wells, Nick Kennedy, Jerry Chen, Felix Rizzo, and Patrick White will all unfortunately also miss out on the main event. Alright, now that we have the duels all finished up and the complete qualifying order for the Royal T Grafix 500 made up, let's go ahead and show you how they will line up for the big 500-mile event. Starting on the front row, we will have Riley Hill on the pole, and to his outside, Ronnie Martin, both dual winners, will be starting on the front row. Behind them will be a set of part-timers in Abel DeGroat and Michael Canaday. Then in row 3, we will have Nelson Reeves and Kason Cooper on the inside and outside. Row 4 will see the 72 of Miles Mashburn and the 11 of JT Bryant. So far in his only scheduled race, he'll be starting in the top 10 in the Royal T Grafix 500. Then rounding out the top 10 will be another one-off drivers, SC Derricks and Dylan Hayden in the number 48. After that, we'll see Zachary DeLello and Blake Parker, both Parker Enterprise cars, in row 6. Row 7 will be Ruben Gonzalez, and to his outside Cam Cole. And then in row 8, we'll have Roger James and Owen Scott in the number 15. Then we'll see Bradley Ream line up in 17th, and Christian Russell will line up 18th. And then Ethan Hayden and Cody Goforth will make up the top 20. 21st will be Adam Wilson in the 00 and Priya McShane in the 98. Then behind them we'll see JQ Halak in the 13 and Alex Livingston in the 53. Row 13 will have Alan Sparrow and Landon Laudenbach. And row 14 will be made up of Ben Crouch and Cam Wright Sr. Then behind them Roberto Crown Jr. and Zachary Fitzwater Sr. will round out the top 30. Getting down to the bottom part of the field, we'll have Brett Bishop and Christian Vargas in row 16. Row 17 will see John Ritson on the outside on the inside, and to his outside will be Solomon Sheridan. Then behind them, already Alejo and Boston Jones in the 18, followed by David Dixon and Carl Untesweffer, Jason Cooper and Leland Hill, and rounding out the field will be Myron Felder and Josh Moore. Of those who failed to qualify, they will include Arvin Basic, Nathan Orman, Adrian Rojas, Tyler Wells, Carson Jefferson, and Nick Kennedy, along with James Fletcher and Jerry Chen. They will miss out on the main event, along with Xander Nathan, Felix Rizzo, Jeff Bolton, and Patrick White. Some big names included in there, lots of drivers very disappointed that they were not able to make this race. Like we said, a lot of teams specifically having entries for this race and this race alone. So for them to not make it, and it's pretty much game over for their entire plans as a whole. Well, we thank you for tuning in to both Victory Lane Collectables Duels, as we now have the lineup set for the Royal T Grafix 500, which is coming soon. We'd like to thank everyone and all of our partners here. Be sure to check out Royal T Grafix. That's at Royal T Grafix on Instagram and Graphics Royal on Twitter, along with Victory Lane Collectables. Check out Victory Lane Collectables on Instagram for all of your custom diecast needs. And check out our official Instagram at PowerOfficialNR to check out more insights, highlights, and news regarding the Power V8 Cup Series. We'll be sure to see you at the Daytona International Speedway when we get set for the Royal T Grafix 500 coming soon. We hope to see you there.